Okay, so I promised a life update video, and I've got to say I've been putting it off because I didn't know how to get into it. And today I thought, you know what, we're just going to dive in like we usually do. A little update for you on selling the house, this big old house moving into the city. Tweet and Sparky, our lovebirds, are no longer with us. Update on my health. I said that last year there was a lot of health stuff going on. But anyway, it's all good. So if you are ready to join me for that, let's dive in. Diane in Denmark here, rah, rah, rah. Yeah, here I am with a life update video, and I have to say, looking back to 2025, I was chatting with a friend and we said, you know what, it was one of our worst years, but not everything in the year was bad. There were good points, but it just was difficult. Maybe it was the same for you. But I wanted to give you a life update today because there's a lot going on in the background, but I'll get straight into it. I've got about 3 or 4 subjects I wanted to cover. And today I'm not going to be adding extra, film, B-roll. So if you want to just kind of listen in, be doing some cleaning or decluttering. If you're at work, maybe dust off, water the plants, tidy out a desk drawer. But anyway, let's just get into it. So first up on the house situation. We have been living in this house, as many of you know, for over 25 years. The kids, we have 2 kids who moved out. They have their own apartments in Copenhagen city, and they moved out 3, 4, coming up for 5 years ago. So it's just me and hubby in this big old house, 4 bedrooms. We're on 3 stories. Plus we have our summer cabin, or it's actually an all year round cabin in Sweden on the south coast. So this has been coming for a while, downsizing. It's just too big for the 2 of us. And I've kind of fallen out of love with the house. So hubby is now on board about us moving out, and we've been doing some renovations to the house with a view to selling. Now, I don't know how the house markets are in your corner of the world, but here, in our situation and our area, the best way to do it is to sell first, and then we're going to buy. And if there's a kind of gap between us selling the place and finding something else, we're okay. We can either use the house in Sweden, it's only an hour away from here, hubby could commute, or alternatively we could move into an apartment, have some of our things in storage. So that's the plan. Before we can actually put the house on the market, sorry, I'm just going to cross my legs and get comfy, we have been advised to do some renovations on the house. Been in touch with an estate agent. Some of the things that we thought needed done, they said no, but other things would give us a bit more money from selling the house. So we have been doing those, and that kind of brings us into Tweet and Sparky, the lovebirds. So we've had some indoor renovations done. The outdoor renovations, those will come in the spring. We need the weather to be over 10 degrees Celsius. That's not going to be happening for a while. And then as soon as the outside is done, then we can put the house on the market. When we got the indoor renovations done, it involved moving Tweet and Sparky, our lovebirds, and I know many of you have heard Tweet and Sparky in the back of my videos. And I don't know, I suppose naively I was thinking, well, they'll be able to come with us, we've had them for forever. And I had to move them to somewhere else in the house because they couldn't be in the room where the workers were. They would have, it just wasn't possible. Moved them somewhere else in the house, and I thought for a couple of weeks that was going to work, and it didn't. They were able to fly free, but they weren't enjoying being in the new environment, and it was a kind of stressful situation for everybody. And I know it's silly because they're just 2 little birdies. here we go. This is one of the reasons why I've been putting off making the video. Anyway, I was just feeling really down that that they weren't going to have a good quality of life. Because they wouldn't be able to move back into where they were after the renovations. Anyway, I'll skip to the point here. So I was thinking, okay, what are we going to do with Tweet and Sparky? Because I don't want them to give them away to anybody who doesn't know what they're dealing with, and I want them to have a good quality of life. They had their own room in the house where they could fly free, and it's a big responsibility. If you've ever had any kind of exotic birds, you will know that they take a lot of space, they create a lot of mess, and it's a real, you have to have the knowledge. Anyway, so I'm losing sleep thinking, what am I going to do for Tweet and Sparky? Because this can't continue. Anyway, fast forward. I heard about this. There's a very prestigious bird club in the north of where we live, north of Zealand, north of Denmark, from where we are. And I thought I'll just put out some feelers. So I got in touch with the chairman of the association. I said, here's the situation. Our family members, they're not just little birds, they're family members. We will be moving into the city. Had been hoping to keep them until we moved, but this wasn't happening. And he said, yes, that they could rehome them. Now, the people in this association, they are real nerds in the good way. They have, outdoor aviaries, which are, heat and light and huge flocks of birds. And these are people who really know what they're doing. And I just felt so relieved that the chairman, he came to pick them up, and we had a good chat about it. And it's that thing of I wanted the best for them, and I said we had bought them not online. We had bought them, on a marketplace thing from somebody who was selling them, who had bought them themselves, didn't really know what they were doing. They were in a tiny cage. We were able to put them into a big cage and have the room here. But you really have to know what you're doing with these birds. And what I wanted for Tweet and Sparky was to live out the rest of their days somewhere where they could fly free. Somebody would be looking after them, and actually they're going to be with other birds. They are a flock animal, but there were some stipulations with us handing over Tweet and Sparky that we wouldn't know who they would be going to. We wouldn't have any updates from them, but they would be very well looked after. And as I said, I know they're just tiny birds, but it was a real sense of adjustment in the weeks afterwards. And in the morning I would kind of wake up and think, oh, hold on, I couldn't hear them chirping. But anyway, it just gave me relief knowing that they've gone to a fantastic place. And and before we handed them over, the kids came round, because the Tweet and Sparky, they were actually my son's birds, and the kids came round. We said our goodbyes, and often we talk about them and think, oh, I wonder what Tweet and Sparky are doing today. They're living their best life in like this kind of retirement home up north, and out with their brothers and sisters and cousins flying around. So anyway, I'll stop here about Tweet and Sparky, because now I'm okay, but it's really taken me a lot of weeks. It's been a big thing that was weighing on my mind. Anyway, so that was one of the downsides about moving out of a big old house after 25 years. But I had to take their welfare. That we had to put that first. Right, whew. And then back on to actually moving from here, because I teach decluttering, I teach the Fly Lady system, and again, it kind of crept up on me, that thing of, we have been here for 25 years, we've always had this storage space for things, but in the last, I would say 4 months, I've been going through every room saying, is this coming to the new place? Why are we holding on to it? And I've got a whole list of things that we have sold, given away. I'll be talking about this in videos coming up. But things like a crib, the family crib that my dearly departed Danish father-in-law had made. We took it when our kids were born, and our kids used the crib. We won't have space for it where we are going. My kids, they've said they're not planning to have kids. Maybe that will change, maybe not. But they've got small apartments. And recently I heard about my nephew and his partner. They are having a baby very soon. And they came round for dinner last week. They took the crib. They were delighted to get the crib. So that was fantastic. And 2 christening robes that we had. One from our family, and one from my husband's family. So it's just all these things. And it's been a real kind of emotional roller coaster of going through these things. Going through my jewellery. I had some nice silver jewellery that I never wear. My son didn't want it. I have sold that. I've been making a lot of money selling things like that. Sorry, just going to have to blow my nose. But all these things, it really takes time to think about it. It's not just the time taken to find a buyer, research the market. And these are things which have given us quite a lot of money. But I'm so glad that we have had... that I'm not dealing with all the small decluttering things like kitchenware, papers I've gone through. I'm really now down to the very final things, because at the end of the day, it stops with me. If my kids don't want it, if the family doesn't want it, then it's the kind of death cleaning thing. And I've really been enjoying the process, but it does take that kind of emotional toll. And then let's talk a wee bit about health, because I mentioned at the beginning of last year I had been feeling kind of out of sorts. I went to the doctor for one thing, and then I was being tested, and then they found stuff, and then I was being tested for other stuff. And as I said at the time, I felt like I was I'd kind of pulled a thread on a sweater, and then it just being kept pull, and the whole thing was unraveling. And I'm in really great shape. I started back at the gym at the beginning of last year. I'm doing the strength training. I'm really feeling good in that way. But I was feeling out of sorts, and I was tested for ADHD, depression. That was ruled out. But they did find out that was very low. Was it hemoglobin? Oh, my mind's like a sieve as well. So I was put on very strong, was it B12 to boost that. I had blood tests. And then one of the other things is when I was at my asthma checkup, and I was saying to the doctor, I'd had some stronger asthma attacks. And I described them. I keep a note of when it happens. And he said, that's not asthma, that sounds like your heart. Which kind of spooked me a bit. So I went to the doctor. The doctor did an ECG, compared it with another ECG that I had done a few years back. And she said, okay, there are some red flags coming up. I want you to... She booked me straight in for... testing at the heart department at the hospital here in Copenhagen. And that was a very worrying couple of weeks again, because I was also prescribed what's it called, nitroglycerine, and I'm thinking, nitroglycerine, isn't that the stuff that bombs are made of? I watched too many spy movies. And she said to me, if the attacks happened again, I had this really strong pain in my back that went through to my chest. Couldn't breathe, and I suppose it was kind of like a cross between, a panic attack. She thought it might have been like a female heart attack. So she said to me, you know, if it happens again, you phone 112 or phone 911. All my friends knew what to do if suddenly I felt bad. So I had a couple of weeks where I really was thinking, is this my last, if this happens again, is this the end? So it kind of put everything into focus, after Mum died last year. And thankfully, everything went well. I went to the heart specialist at the hospital here. They did the long check. There's nothing wrong with my heart. There's some other things, but anyway, it's all good. But it's just to say, like last year, it was one of those years where at the end of the year, I thought, oh my goodness, what just went on there? But there were so many good experiences as well, and good experiences with friends, fun things with the family. I've also had some fun projects going on which are not related to the YouTube videos. I did a talk recently for postdoc and PhD association students at Copenhagen University. That was in town recently, and I was telling them about how to survive winter in Denmark and giving them some study tips. That was a fabulous evening with these much younger crowd than I usually talk to. I'm trying other things at the gym, getting more into the weightlifting, ice dipping. The sea froze over again this year in Copenhagen, and it's just fabulous. I will put some footage here so you can see the fun that we have been having. And what else can I tell you? Well, yeah, what's coming up? There will be more videos coming with me because I really want to get into this thing of the final stages of decluttering when downsizing, the things that I have done wrong. You can't really do anything wrong, but things that I would have done differently with the decluttering, that if I'd known that when we first moved into this house 25 years ago. Oh, and I will also bring you more wardrobe videos, because recently a friend of mine, she wanted to do the big wardrobe overhaul. And a lot of things have come up talking to her that she was getting these aha moments. And I wanted to share them with you. There's some extra things that will help to really get you into a good place with your wardrobe. If you do Dressing Your Truth, I will tell you that my friend, she is a type 4-3. So she was a bit kind of on the fence at the beginning about the wardrobe thing. And due to her 4-3 nature, now she's completely all in. Like the day after we first talked, she was on and she was like, oh, okay, I am fully in on this project. And it's quite funny because type 4s and type 3s, they are very good at weeding out what doesn't work for them. So anyway, I've had a lot of fun with her. And I'm also going to be helping another friend soon with their wardrobe. So lots of wardrobe videos coming. And one other thing, I wanted to give you an update. Do you remember there was these kind of scam companies that had taken one of my YouTube videos and put an AI voice over, and they were selling some kind of medical insurance in the States. I have never been able to see the videos because I'm in Europe and in Denmark, and I'm not being served those videos. I know many of you were very supportive. You reported the video. I did not authorize that. And it's so weird because I cannot get it stopped. I tried going to Google Ads, the people behind the adverts, saying, this company is using it. I haven't authorized it, take it down. I went to YouTube, been on YouTube support. I've spent days and days and days on this. And it almost stopped me being on YouTube because I thought, it's funny because if I ever use, like once I had, I was filming at a concert and one of my videos was flagged because somebody, there was music in it, and I was, okay, fine, take it off. But somebody uses my image selling a kind of scam product, and I can't do anything about it. So anyway, so at the moment I've just kind of given up. I've tried, of course, contacting the firms, but it's very difficult to get in touch with these firms because it's fake email addresses that they use. Because I sent a cease and desist thing to their legal departments, but it just bounces back because, of course, it doesn't exist. So anyway, a little update about that. But if you see some kind of commercial using me, I have not authorised. I don't do any sponsored content, no adverts in the middle of my videos. So anyway, if you see that, please report it. And I've said to them, my viewers are reporting these things, why can't you take it down? Anyway, rant over. Anyway, I hope I haven't overstayed my welcome, but as I said, I've been putting this video off because I knew I would get teary about tweeting Sparky. But again, I know they are living the good life. They are hanging out with their with other lovebirds up north in Denmark. Let me know, what have you been up to? Have you had any challenges last year? What are you looking forward to the year ahead? Hope you have a fantastic day. Any questions? Feel free to leave them in the comments. I am still blogging, and if you want to get my videos and blog posts straight to your email without all the social media stuff, I've really been turned off Instagram and Facebook. There's just a lot of kind of nonsense there, and it just annoys me. So I'm mainly sticking to YouTube and my blog. You can sign up for my newsletter and get it that way. So anyway, I hope you have a fabulous day. I've got my pom-poms. So all I've got left to say is live long and prosper. May the Danish hygge be with you, and I shall see you very soon with a ra, ra, ra.